Conventional economic wisdom holds that the record-low unemployment rate will cause employers to bid up wages, which will then be passed through to consumers in the form of higher prices, triggering rising inflation. However, conventional wisdom is being shattered. Just as civilization came to understand that the world is not flat, the world just recently realized that the framework for understanding the relationship between inflation and employment, the Phillips curve, was wrong. While civilization generally progresses at a glacial speed, this is a breakthrough in the world's understanding of economics, and it has modern world consequences. William Phillips, a professor of economics at the London School of Economics in the 1950s, explained the inverse relationship between unemployment and wages in 1958. When the economy grows, the unemployment rate declines, driving wages and spurring higher inflation. By the late 1960s, the Phillips curve was the primary framework for forecasting inflation by central banks across the world. Now, however, in a departure from conventional economic wisdom, the Phillips curve is being rethought by the U.S. Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the U.S. Central Bank, does not expect a sharp rise in inflation, even though unemployment has hit a record low and wages are on the rise. He believes the inverse correlation between employment and wage inflation isn't as strong as it used to be, and he sets U.S. interest rate policy. If the Fed relied on the Phillips curve, Mr. Powell would likely be trying to head off inflation right now by raising rates more aggressively to slow down the economy. Inflation recently surged to the Fed's target rate of 2%, and the unemployment rate dropped to a record low of 3.9%. In addition, the index of leading economic indicators, a forward-looking composite measuring growth literally 10 ways monthly, rose again in April, continuing an uptrend and suggesting solid growth continuing through the second half of 2018. Mr. Powell, who became Fed chair in February 2018, has moved decisively in defiance of conventional wisdom, highlighting humanity's improved understanding of financial economics. This chart from independent economist Fritz Meyer, whose research we license to share with you regularly, shows the inverse relationship of inflation and employment since 1960. If the Phillips curve were an accurate forecasting tool, each of the black dots would line up on top of the red line. When Professor Phillips came up with his theory in 1958, it was prophetic, but a half-century later we know so much more. We're here to help you plan your future based on facts, analysis, and humanity's growing understanding of financial economics.